All right. Can you hear me now? Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Okay, you should be able to hear me now. I apologize for that. This is what happens in the middle of the night. All right, let's make sure. Can you hear me now? Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, good. So I'm loud and clear. That's why I like to do the technical stuff. Normally I'd be prepared, but I had to jump out of bed. It was crazy. I was literally about to turn over and go to sleep. Sometimes I work late nights behind the scenes here. I said, let me just check one more time before I shut down for the night. And sure enough, I saw smoke rising out of Iran. Okay, so let me say this again, what I was trying to say in the beginning. Now that you're with me, I do apologize. So what we're going to do, let me check. There won't be no comments coming on the screen because I'm not set up for that. All right, but you can comment all you want on whatever platform you're on. Okay. So I'm going to use my phone right now. Okay. We're going to replay, whether you've seen it or not. You have to listen to this 8-minute speech from President Trump. We're going to listen to it again. I'm going to monitor. I don't see right now. I do not see another wave of attacks at the moment, but they're coming. He just told us that, and it's going to be powerful. Okay. So what I can tell you is we have declared war on Iran. Let me explain that too. I have been on my platform saying World War III will not happen. I am still sticking with that. Okay. World War III will not happen. Let me check. Okay. I have some breaking news right now. According to, now this is on Amir Tsarfati's Telegram. Missiles have just been launched from Iran. Were detected. All Israelis are called to bomb shelters. I'm going to help you get through this. Even though most people are sleeping, we're not going to have a very big audience right now. Bear with me. Okay, I'm seeing jets over Iran. Those are our boys, too. All right, so this is a very, very, very big deal right now that's going on. What I was saying when I had no sound, I said, if you pay close attention, I have been all over this Iran thing. I've been calling it out. I've said it publicly on my platforms. This is the most important story right now. Above Jeffrey Epstein, above it all. Now, I'm not making light of that whatsoever. I've already explained myself. These are puzzle pieces. If you go to the Q drops, it talks about Iran extensively. We're going all the way back to talking about Obama giving them pallets of cash before they left. Iran has been the deep state, central hub for the deep state and their proxies for decades. All right. This is history in the making. I'll play Donald Trump's words. Now, he did say there can be U.S. casualties. All right. He already came out and said that. And I'm going to play it. And to me, what that sounds like, this is going to be heavy duty. I'm going to say it again. I do not believe World War III is happening. Okay. And I do not believe this will last long at all. If anything, that what Iran is going to do, either they're going to surrender, which I'm not sure of, or they're going to go out and kamikaze it probably right this moment. So I got to keep an eye on things. So what I like to do right now is I am going to go ahead. Let me check my audio again. Just let me check my everybody on in the comments. We're going to play this again. Okay? Do not, I said I would call people out by name, and I will do that. You know, Masty's running his mouth right now, and I haven't checked it all because a lot is happening real fast. Okay? So I got to get it together here. I'm repeating myself. Woo. I earned my money tonight at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night. Whew. All right. I got to have a little fun. Folks, there's not going to be World War III. This is going to be intense. I'm going to tell you right now to buckle up. This is a very big deal. I've been waiting on this. This is such a big deal. I'm talking, this had to be before the midterms. This is all making sense to me. I called it, and I'm not a bragger, okay? I have to stay humble because that's important in my life for me personally. But I did say this morning on Facebook and on my other platforms that conditions were right for this weekend. I said it in so many words. I didn't come directly out and say this weekend it's going to happen because I'm smart enough know not to say something like that. But I pretty much said in that post, it looks like this weekend is going to be it, and here we are. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I know what I'm talking about. I follow this stuff closely. I've been following this for so long, since I was a young man, before all this Donald Trump, before Q, before all that. I watch these things. I study the language. I pay attention. You can just tell when things are about to pop off. So here we are. Now I'm going to play this video again. We're going to listen to it together. As we're listening to it, I'm going to keep an eye on things, okay, in real time, and I will update you. Before I hit play, let me look one more time. Okay, so yes, I got several reports saying first wave of Iranian ballistic missiles have been launched at Israel. 30 missiles reportedly fired. That's one missile's too many, but that is a small amount. So they are kind of retaliating. Let's do this before I say anything else. I'm going to play President Trump here. All right, so let's do this. Here we go. All right. Let's do this, and away let's listen.
Time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that, with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Okay. So there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, and I used the word history earlier. This is historic. This is massive news. This is world changing. Here's the breaking news that I can confidently report right now. Breaking news. It is the end of the Iranian regime. It is the end of the deep state regime in Iran. It is over. I don't know how violent this is going to get, but I don't see it lasting too long. I'm looking at your comments as well. I saw somebody say, will China get involved, etc. I don't see it. If China was going to get involved, they would have made moves already. There's been a military buildup for weeks. Ever since we went into Venezuela, we went right to the Middle East. I don't see it happening. Is this the scare event? I don't know. Now, what we need to watch, what I will watch for, is the language coming from other countries. Now, certain language will come out in the form of a written statement from places like Saudi Arabia, surrounding countries, etc. It's just smoke and mirrors. They have to put out these statements saying, we condemn this and stuff, but they're not. I guarantee you that entire Middle East region is all behind the United States this evening, or this morning at this point. This is historic. This will change the landscape of the entire Middle East and the globe. This has been a part of the plan for a long time. You can go to the Q Drops right now and go into the search bar and type in Iran. Look at all those posts from Iran. Go ahead there and inform yourself. And there are several that talk about to the Iranian people, and I think this goes all the way back to 2018, maybe 2020, I don't know, to fight, and they literally say regime change. And now, this evening, future proves past. We are witnessing history. Let me check. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this by ear. So we heard what President Trump just said. I don't think I'm guessing right now the way I'd like to do this. I'm going to keep coming back and forth. All right. I'm not going to stay on here for hours like some other news outlets do, because that takes away from my work, but I will inform you. Okay. I've been prepared for this for a long time. Let me take a look at the what's going on here, and I'll update you. Okay. The internet in Iran is down. Not surprising. Okay, there are attacks against oil and gas infrastructure in southern Iran. Let's see what else I can gather here. Well, this is the moment of truth. For all these decades of Iran running their mouth and death to America and threatening with their incredible force of missiles, etc., this is their moment, and then they will not get another moment. So, again, I don't know what these crazy SOBs are going to do, and that's what they are. It's too bad right now, because I wish the younger generation was informed, and we're in such a war with misinformation and disinformation, fake news and everything, and headlines. I'll say it again. I 100% support this. You got idiots like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, all of them running around. It's World War III. I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did. We voted for this. And what we voted for was a new world, a peaceful world. In order to achieve that, we have to do this. President Trump is not starting a new war. He is ending it. This is a war that's been going on for decades all over the globe. I could be here all night and just bring you historic events that have taken place regarding Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and you can go on and on and on, and the connections. But you should be informed about that right now. This is what I did vote for. I voted for this. Nobody wants war. I don't want war. But this is exactly what he campaigned on: peace through strength. So I would probably, if I were you, if you're not that informed about this in the history, just take a step back, okay? Now, I've seen comments already. Oh, Israel's bombing Iran. This is what they want. They want to take over the whole Middle East. That's a bunch of malarkey. I have watched this for years, decades, especially when the invention of the internet and YouTube came along. I'll be the first to say it. I'm not taking sides. I said I wouldn't do that. There's blood on everybody's hands. But let me tell you something. It's barbaric when it comes to Iran and their tentacles in the proxies that they have in the fights that they've had against Israel for decades. It's ugly. This needs to be done. I'm standing behind President Trump with this. I've waited for this for a long time, and I'm happy about this right now. I'm not happy about war. I'm not happy about what's to come. But if you want to live in all that stuff we talked about, the Great Awakening, a new world awaits, etc., and what we're going through right now with everybody bitching and complaining about so many things and people in his administration, look, I said something the other day. The time is running out. There's a clock going, and I wasn't necessarily talking about arrest. I was talking about this event tonight because I knew this had to happen. We're not just bombing Iran, we're taking away the deep state. We're taking the power away from the deep state. What kind of president on his last day in office delivers pallets of cash to a terrorist organization, to a terrorist state? That should tell you everything you need to know right there. All right, let me check the wire again. Again, I don't think I'm going to stay on too long. Yeah, I'm seeing the reports of Iran and total internet blackout with national connectivity at 4%. I don't know if I would think at this point they're prepared with Starlink. If you've got the military, we have the military in place. They'll probably be dropping care packages for internet connectivity in there. Here's the time. This is Iran's moment to shine. It's not going to be pretty at all. But the Iranian people can finally overthrow this terrorist regime of theirs. Let's take another look here. Let's see what else we get. Let me see what we got here. Okay, so they're still firing missiles over to Israel at this time. Pretty much President Trump is dominating with that speech across the internet. Sirens are sounding all across Israel as we speak. And you got to understand, this has happened in the daylight too, which I find very interesting. And I think that has a lot to do. When I saw this I was surprised because I'm like, wow, they're attacking during the day. I think that's for the benefit of the Iranian people. The one video I posted with one of the targeted strikes, apparently on one of the palaces, people were saying that the people that were filming with their phone sounded really happy and excited. Well, of course they are. Okay, so if you don't understand, you're wondering why they are. They want their freedom back. I have been monitoring the voice of the Iraqi people for many months now, especially on X, where I know where to look. And they want their freedom. They understand what's at stake. I understand what's at stake. This is the only opportunity that the Iranian people will have to have a free Iran. I know a lot of people talk about regime change as a very ugly and dangerous thing because it's very unpredictable. I get that. But if you really look at the landscape of things right now, think about what we've witnessed. Regime change in Venezuela, and we're involved. Cuba is following. Now Iran, which is the biggest one. It's pretty amazing that I'm actually sitting here on February 28th of 2026 and reporting this historic event. So let me take a look here. All right. So the Department of War just posted, it looks like the name of the U.S. operation, the Department of War has posted, it's Operation Epic Fury. So this is a big one. The last time I remember something this big, it was Desert Storm. Okay, now that didn't last long either. Operation Epic Fury. Quite interesting. So it looks like I'm getting reports of it. It looks like Iron Dome is working well as usual. We have seen over the years with President Trump, or recently, in attacks from Israel and Iran. We've seen limited ones. We saw back in June, was it June? Operation Midnight Hammer. We saw that on their nuclear facilities. But you heard President Trump tonight. Matter of fact, let me go to your Facebook comments right now. I'm going to bring it up on my phone. You won't be able to see those on the screen. I'm willing to discuss anything you want. If anybody has any, I'm not going to stay on much longer because I'm going to keep coming back and forth, okay? At some point, probably tomorrow afternoon, this afternoon, I'll have to find a few hours to lay down and take a nap and recharge. I'll have to look for a break in the action if possible. So we'll see. I know that I'll be up all night with you here. I may not be on your screen, but I will be reporting. I like keeping you up to date in real time. I thrive on that. So Operation Epic Fury. So I'm looking at your Facebook comments now. If there's anything you want to ask away. Now, let me talk about this scenario. I have discussed in the past years about Nessun Dorma, the sum of all fears, the scare event. I've done podcasts on that, and I've taken educated guesses, and I thought it would be connected to Russia, as in a nuclear scare event. For those who followed me for years, you've heard me talk about this. I thought we'd have a Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0. But we're not. Okay, but somebody did ask about China getting involved. Now, if somebody flinches, as in China, I just can't see how Russia's going to get involved, but I guess they can. That changes everything. I don't see it happening, but that changes everything. Then we're talking a real scare event. All right, like I said, if China was going to get involved, they would have been involved prior to this strike. They would have been involved weeks ago. I've tried to keep you up to date over the weeks. I've tried to inform you. I have ignored distraction stories, okay, because I knew better. I waited patiently for this. And again, If you're just joining, so you understand, and if you're new to following me, I am not rooting for war. As a matter of fact, this is not a war. Like I said, we're ending it. And this is historic. So I got to be careful with my words, but just appreciate the gravity of the situation. I do. I think it's you heard the words, there can be casualties, etc. Everybody, we need to pray. Okay. We have no idea what the Iranian regime is going to do, if they're going to go all out and kamikaze themselves. My only fear is, I think what President Trump was saying, because there's many scenarios of them, they've already killed thousands of their own people, and that's just recently. I'm not talking in the past 40 years or so, 40 plus years. But I'm concerned that they'll turn against their own people right now. If I was the IRGC and law enforcement over there, I would stand down. I would stand down, because the writing's on the wall. Regime change is coming. It's going to be very. I'm no military expert, and God bless those who are. Some of you follow me. I get that. Many of you have been messaging me recently and informing me about your loved ones being deployed. I have received overwhelming amount of messages privately informing me of loved ones in your families being deployed. That was also an indicator to me, besides the military buildup in Iran, that what was going on, and this was going to happen, and here we are. All right. So let me explain something. I don't. Again, World War III. No, I just don't see that happening. Is this war? This is not a war yet. Okay, just because bombs are going off, etc. This is an attack. Okay, this is. We can say it now. This is regime change. President Trump pretty much said that tonight. I said it the other day. I think I was on the air. I said, here is probably what's going to happen. And now the president just confirmed it. I says it's probably going to be a joint operation with Israel, and they're going to be very strategic targets to cripple the entire Iranian regime, government, military, so the people there have a fighting chance. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if we get shipments of planes and dropping gear for the Iranian people, because they need to fight back. I don't see a situation of boots on the ground. I mean, if Israel wants to do that, I don't see American boots on the ground. But I'm sticking to my guns. Like I said, this is not World War III. This will be pretty swift, in my opinion. So I'll publicly say that. It will be swift. I don't think the Iranian regime is going to last too long at all. The only thing that I'm concerned about is Khomeini has, he's 80 some years old, in his late 80s, apparently. And when you're at that age and you're running the entire country, you're like probably not really afraid of death. So his decision making could be that kamikaze type of decision making. So that's a concern, to say the least. So, all right. All right. Do the drop deltas line up with this? I don't know about the deltas. I'd have to go back and look. But a lot's been matching. Look, Scavino I posted it this morning. Scavino posted the stealth bombers, the video clip. That was 2 of them this week he posted. So he was pretty much telling us and informing us. Yes, this is a very big deal. And this is a very, very big deal in the Q drops as well. And like I said, I have no problem with going forward and calling out people by name when it comes to them BSing everybody that this is World War III and I didn't vote for this, all that garbage. And that's coming from our side, if you will. So, unless you really understand this history and realize what we're up against, this has to be done. And I guarantee you secretly that Saudi Arabia, the UAE, all of them are secretly just jumping for joy right now tonight. No question about it. Okay, I'm looking. When it comes to Iran talking, I see reports of what coming out of Iran. I just never take it serious. The war power that we have out there on those waters. Watch the water right now. Watch the water is quite intimidating. Yeah, I'll get that up. So again, here's what I'd like to do. I just came in here. So what I'm going to do is I will occasionally make a decision when the right time is to come back on the air. So I just wanted to come on the air. I wanted to play that right now. I'm looking at real time. When it comes to these situations, I am looking at certain pages. Like right now, Amir Tsarfati on Telegram giving us updates with the alarms going off, and they're in the bomb shelters right now because they're in Israel. Look once more here. Okay. Okay. So here's what I'd like to do. I'm going to go ahead and go off the air. I'm going to go update my platforms with a few things to keep you guys updated. And then I will come back on at times when it's warranted, put it that way. By the sounds of it, what President Trump just said, this is going to go on for several days. It all depends on the Iranian regime. It's pretty much over with. I posted like the other day, like we can't negotiate with terrorists. The Iranian regime is just stalling. They come out of the talks. Every time they come out of those talks with Kushner and Witkoff, the Iranians come on social media and they're saying all these good things, good talks with the U.S. And I said, that's a bunch of crap. But Witkoff and Jared Kushner are coming out like not good talks. And when Iran says something's going good, I knew it was the opposite. And that's why I was confident this morning in saying it looks like it's probably going to be this weekend. I did see the report that Rubio is supposed to go to Israel on Monday, I do believe. Whether that still happens or not, I don't know. But I think they left that report out this morning. They knew they were going to attack tonight. But I think they just left that out there on purpose. Rubio may not be going at this point until this operation is over. But we'll see. I don't know what the plan is. It all depends. But I'll keep you updated. I'm going to sign off the air right now. I'll let you know when I decide to go back on. And thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back probably soon. All right.